Shalini, you can start now.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Just wait a second. Okay. No such things as a spare time, no such things as free time, no such things as downtime. All you got is lifetime. Go. So, with this quote, let's start our today's webinar. Good evening to all the participants and our guest speaker, Mrs. Grishma Natraj ma'am, present here on this webinar on the topic Relationship Management, Happiness and Pain. It's an honor itself to honor this beautiful audience who has gathered here. I, Shalini Sahani, your host for today's event, welcome you all on behalf of our whole SEMS family on this wonderful webinar. Thank you all for giving us your precious time and joining this webinar. Let me first take brief introduction about our SEMS organization. SEMS Welfare Organization is non-for-profit entity stabilized to work in the area of education, skill development and entrepreneur, livelihood generation and employability, health research, cultural international cooperating, sports, environment protection, or any other similar sectors. We promote healthy lives, balanced and active communities, and a strong business. It allows all volunteer members to concentrate their energies and efforts on long-term goals when freed from day-to-day details. SIMS Group has conducted 4 international conferences in emerging technologies in the states of Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, and has an active network of 5,000 plus engineers, managers, researchers, industrialists, consultants, and public bodies who share interest in contributing to the society through the academic means of education and research. SEMS Group has also organized more than 100 education and basic health care camps for underprivileged children in slum areas of Uttar Pradesh. SEMS Group additionally promotes digital and financial literacy and has organized more than 100 camps in rural places and for senior citizens across India. As we all know, the topic behind today's webinar is Relationship Management, Happiness and Pain by our speaker of the day, Mrs. Grishma Netraj ma'am. So let me first acknowledge her presence. Grishma, the name itself connects you with a climate spring, which gives soothing picture of sunshine, greenery, everywhere blossom of flowers, and slurping sounds of birds, which will make you fall in love with the nature. Similarly, Grishma is a dynamic personality apt to her name. Grishma is exactly that spring season which makes you fall in love with her. She has got a degree in finance and auditing along with a degree in cost accountancy. But the assets and liabilities, balance sheet, work in progress, audit notes never interested her. She just followed her heart despite having such great degrees. She has proficiency in 9 Indian languages, other than English, and 2 foreign languages. Traveled from northern hemisphere to southern hemisphere, eastern and western part of India, living across her impact on people's lifestyle. Mrs. Garishma Netraj ma'am is a psychotherapist, counseling psychologist, naturopath, life coach, motivational speaker, and tarotist. She is the founder of Grishma Natraj Counseling Cafe, who has been appreciated and awarded for her service for inspiring people. She has received awards and certifications of graduate as a life coach, tarot card reader, and motivational speaker. So thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out the time for today's webinar. So before starting today's event, some rules to be followed during webinar. If you have any questions during this event, feel free to drop them in the chat box. I will bring them up at the end. Every participant is suggested to keep their mic off, mute. And lastly, a feedback form will be shared in the chat box. Kindly go through that. That's all from my side. Now over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening,
I
ma'am.
hope I'm audible to everybody. And yes, so today's topic, first of all, thank you for introduction. And yes, today's topic is a little bit sensitive because if we talk about relationship, we will say, okay, relationship with our friends, with our relatives, with our partners and all. But I think so, the word relationship also goes with us also, isn't it? We should also have a good relationship with us. So let's start up with the topic, what is relationship? So just give me a second, I'll just share my PPT. So as we said, relationship. As you're sitting in front of me, Shalini, I just wanted to ask you, for you, what is relationship? Because I don't want to give you a speech. We all are adults. We know we have traveled some miles of our journey in this called world relationship. So everyone says this is the best ship. Friendship is the best ship. Partnership is the best ship. But what exactly is relationship? Just one question for you, and then I'm going to take it off from here.
Ma'am, I think the relationship is the connection between two people or more in the terms of emotions, happiness, pain, matlab, in anything in terms of. Ma'am, your mic is mute.
Yeah, so according to you, do you mean to say only with happiness related to connections with someone?
No, ma'am, in terms of everything, like emotionally,
Yes,
financially, or anything.
exactly, Shalini. We always, the first thing comes is only emotions and connects with our own people. We don't think about the relationship, what we have with not only the existing, non-existing things also.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to convey before we start the process. So according to Google, we have a definition of relationship. One second, I'll just to make everyone understand, a perfect relationship, whenever you Google it, you'll get this meaning of it. A perfect relationship is one where you live in, understand, and respect. But that goes with your acquaintances, it goes with your friendships, family relations, and all those things. It is not only the respect or it is not only the understanding, but it is also a connection which is required for the understanding of basic nature. And it just goes on only if you understand yourself. So you should always see when you're developing any relation, because we start our life with relations and we end it with relation. But when we start growing, we come in contact with a lot of relations. We may have pets, we may have our car, we may have our house. So that is also a relation with a non-living thing and a living thing. But how great it is, whether we have the acceptance of each other, that is more important in relationship. And according to me, when you are in something which is a deep respect which you have, a deep value if you have in something, that makes the connection. That is what a relationship is according to me. So going further with my second slide. The second slide, you can see why relationship is so important, because we feel it's love, we feel it's understanding, and somewhere we all feel that ki hame koi na koi chahiye, isn't it? So the relationship is all about expressing your feelings. It's all about being yourself. It's all about letting out all you feel. But is it only that journey? No, it is also a journey where we take everyone along with us, whether with love or whether with hatred. But we have to connect as a human being. Agar we are the last person on the earth to be there alive also, we will connect with something, and that connect is we soul, our soul, isn't it? We connect with God also. So understand, we cannot be alone. I'll give you a short example over here. There was COVID for 2 years, and lots of people have died because of COVID. You know, many of them died because of cardiac arrest in ICU. The reason for that death is not lack of oxygen or not being that they were all alone or anything. The reason was they could not understand that their life is also equally important. You got the thing, because we always say we are living for someone else, we are living for, but the first relationship should be with us. We forget that we don't connect with us. So the first relationship starts with our own. That makes us complete. And then we start connecting with others. People lost their lives because they were having less connections with us, but they were attached to a lot of other factors in our life. So this is what I want to say, that relationship doesn't only belongs to getting connected with different peoples or different identities and all those things, but it also means connecting with our inner self. So I have a question for all of you over here. No need to answer me, but do think it over. How many of us have actually connected with our inner relationship with ourselves? Have we grown up now? You all would have grown up. I am also grown up. Did we ever spend that time, the quality time with us, to figure out who we are? We talk about our relationships with others, but did we have a good relationship with ourselves? I want you all to figure this out whenever you get this time about it. So going further, I would just go ahead with my next slide on how to develop relationships. Yes, relationships are basically developed with love, isn't it? I have put this word prema over here because I want you to understand love is always there everywhere. Everyone is born with love. Everyone is born with bondings, with emotions, with feelings. But how to develop these feelings? How to go ahead without having hatred, without being so much stressed? Because in today's age, if you see, a lot of people are getting divorced. They fall in love, and after sometimes they don't understand the relationship, they break up, and then they again go to a new relationship. And then the complaint is that we couldn't have a consistency in our relationships. End product is sometimes the kids are also been born in such relationships where the parents get separated. They don't understand why their relationship failed. So that is why I have just put a short name. Instead of love, I have made it prema. So prema here stands, P stands for positive emotions, R stands for respects in relationships, E stands for engagement, M stands for meaning, and A stands for accomplishment. So respect in positive, if you start with respect first, respect is essential in every relationship, whether it is platonica or familiar. Mutual respect is essential so that, you know, someone who doesn't respect you and has negative impact also, that is going to spoil your self-esteem and your health also. That is why understand, when there is no respect in any relationship, when there is no love expressed properly, this relationship is not going to last for longer period. That's the reason you should have respects in any relationship, whether you are in love, whether you are as a child mother, or whatever relationships you are making. When I say positive emotions, yes, first has to come with respect. Anything which we get attached to, we will have positive emotions, isn't it? But when we talk about positive emotions, they shouldn't have a hidden agenda. It should be acceptance. You got it? When we accept people the way we are, we don't criticize them. And when we really feel true feelings, even in friendship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship or anything, I just want to say only one thing. We always criticize, we find loopholes. How will that relationship last? You may say, oh, there's a respect in the relationship, but then this person is doing so much which is creating negative impact on me. Try to look the positive side also into all those things. Only when you have a proper positive emotions or proper positive thinking, the emotions what are emoting with the partner or with anyone in your life, whether it's a friend circle, your teachers, your classmates, anyone, when we start finding out the positive and giving out the positive engagements with the people, obviously the relationship is going to get developed. It's very easy to say negative, it's very easy to criticize, but when you are sitting on the ship of relationship, we have to have understandings. We should engage into something which is called a common goal to help each other, to understand each other, to trust each other. And whatever we are completing in a relationship, we are taking any task, it should have something called accomplishment. Until and unless we don't understand that there is a purpose for us to come together and there is a other side of it which is called a positive aspect. It's not we come together, we fight today and then we part ahead. No, fights are always there. There are rough patches of life, but if we have these 4 to 5 aspects which I've termed as prema, I think so we can develop a healthy relationship. So when I'm saying this, prema, please understand, prema doesn't only means prem. It doesn't mean only love. It is also the positive emotions, respects, engagements, meaning, accomplishments. That whole things develops the entire concept as prema. Okay, the development of a relationship. As I discussed the first point over here in the previous one, respect. Respect is the important thing in any relationship, isn't it? The problem here, what happens is sometimes we respect a person because of the status. Sometimes we respect the person because of some good deeds and maybe sometimes of humanity. But respect actually comes only when you feel that there is something different which we should accept from the other person. This builds the trust, safety and well-being of a relationship. This is the first fundamental or first base, you can say, of developing a relationship. When this is not there, anything can collapse. So I'm going to talk about the importance of respect in relationship today. Why? Because as you're seeing, as all your generations are seeing, things are getting very much complicated as the focus of our life is getting deteriorated. We are getting distorted with small things. And then we blame that our relations were not so good and all those things. But today, I just want everyone to understand, to respect the relationship. So the first point where I have mentioned in this is respect is essential in all relationships. Let it be romantic, platonic, familiar. That is the mutual respect is essential because it has negative impact. As I said, if you see why there is violence, why there is problem going in any families is because we keep our egos very high. Sometimes we don't understand, particularly when there is an arranged marriage or maybe an intercaste marriage or love marriage also. A girl comes from one house to another house, but the understanding, the respect factor is not been considered. They just think that, okay, she's come, she's married, and this is how the negativity starts because we take it for granted. You got it, that she's my daughter-in-law, she's my wife, and all those things. Any relationship, the way we respect our parents, we should respect every relationship which is there, wherein you should have that understanding first. Okay, going further, it has to be expressed. When you say respect is there, best is Let us express. Otherwise, it becomes a honeymoon period. The things breaks up and it turns out into a toxic relationship. Most of the time you see partners do complain, my partner is not respecting me, he doesn't pay attention to me, he is not taking care of me. So all this, when an individual is there, this all things needs to be built up. Attention, needs, desires, wants, attunement, it all comes when there is respect between you and your partner, with you and yourself also. When you fulfill your understandings towards you, you can fulfill understandings of your partner also. So when you're growing, it's not a relationship is not only 1 or 2 days of thing, it is a continuous process, it goes on till the end. So you should develop it properly, and to develop respect, the first factor is trust. Okay, when we don't trust our emotions, when we don't trust ourselves, how can the respect be strong? So any relationship, when we are talking, याद यही रखना है कि हमें अपने आप पे पहले भरोसा होना चाहिए, बाद में खुद को रिस्पेक्ट करो, सामने वाले को रिस्पेक्ट करो. Only then there is a proper bonding of a relationship happening in the societies. It's not that, okay, like you are a South Indian, I am a North Indian, I am a Punjabi, I am a Bengali. All these things, finally, end of the day, we are all humans. We are here with some of the other purposes. So we should respect, we should give respect, and the respect is to be earned. You cannot just force someone to give you a respect. It needs to be earned, isn't it? Similarly, when you're earning the respect, it is earned with the help of the major word called trust. If there is no trust, even today, your organization SEMS, it has garnered some trust. Without trust, today people wouldn't connect with you. So trust is an emotional feeling where you feel safe, you feel reliable. It can be with us ourselves. We don't try to be defensive, isn't it? When we are trusting someone, we don't try to be defensive. We accept what they say. It is a higher pedestal. When you talk about trust, it becomes a very higher pedestal, and we get more compatible, and we can go to an extent of talking even any personal things when we find that trust in any relationship. Okay, so as I said, how to develop the respect, now I'm going to talk about how to develop the trust, because these are the foundations of any relationship. Fine. So if you see, there are a few points which I have mentioned in the PPT, how to develop trust. Listen and don't be defensive. When I talk about listen and don't be defensive, nowadays, if you see, we don't have patience to listen to anyone. After, I think so, 2015, the digital technical logics and all this thing, we have become so fast, like even in the mobile also, if we are seeing something, we just scroll our mobiles in 1 second. We don't sit and listen. Whatever glance come, okay, we just come to a conclusion. So that should not happen in any relationship. Give a pleasant time where, if your partner is talking, or maybe your friend is telling you something, or someone is telling you something about something, don't stand there trying to be defensive, because that shows that you're not interested in that person. And that's how the first crack in a relationship starts, when you become defensive or you become ignorant. Okay, it actually gives a pain to the opposite person when you try to be ignorant. And when you say that, okay, fine, I didn't listen, or I ignored you, that one small action of yours starts creating crack and deep valley in the relationship, any relationship, I would say. And after that, if you say, I'm sorry, I'm okay, I'll patch it up and all, it takes a lot of time. So when you want to develop, remember the first part is give it a time to everyone, with whomever you are. Don't try to overtalk, or don't try to be defensive. Don't ignore anyone. If you are not able to, please tell the partners or anyone with whom you are in relationship that, okay, right now I'm busy, can you just get back later? You have to be accommodative. You give that time, because if you want to be known, if you want to be famous, I would say you should have this point in you, or this passion in you, to be a good listener rather than being a defensive player. Okay, going further is to be committed to the process. Yes, when we talk to develop a trust, you have to continuously be there. You have to continuously be helping each other, completing the task, being productive with the task, whether the task is successful or not. Don't feel about the results, but when you stand together, it makes a good strength. That helps. Like, okay, this person is committed to me despite his own problems and all those things. He is there going on taking care of me, and that gives the strength, that builds the strength. When you're committed, when you're there, it really develops a good trust for a relationship to be developed. The further point which I would like to talk about is work on your communication. Most of the relationships collapse because of lack of communication. Now, when I say communication, most of my clients, they think it has to be a verbal communication. I'm not talking about verbal communication. There is another language of silence, your body language, your facial expressions, how are you moving your eyes, your face, and all those body gestures, and all this comes under communication. But we always say there's lack of communication. That means he's not communicating or she's not communicating verbally. No, try to understand how your communication is. Sometimes what happens is you just shrug your shoulder and say nothing. But that shrugging of the shoulder, was it a positive or a negative? That also has an impact. And people usually, anything in relationship, when a partner looks up to you for having something, appreciation or validation, and some person just skips like a stone, no movements and all, it gives a wrong miscommunication happening. It gives a wrong impact on the partner, and there where again the crack has been developed. So please see, when you're there in any relationship, you have to develop your communication, because that is the base of any relationship, which ends up in trust. You can have your own rules in relationships, like few people, okay, if you see there are love marriages happening, so the guy will say, I'll take part of the kitchen. If the wife is a working lady, so he will help her while cooking. She may take care of other activities like taking care of the baby or taking care of laundry or something else. So set some good rules, keep some targets, learn to appreciate your partner. That is these days missing, because we say we have a lot of work, we have a lot of stuff on our plate, but then we ignore our partner. And the time when we start ignoring our partner, it becomes a problem. So going further, I just want to say that be very patient. All these points are very, very important. If you're getting into any new relationship or you're starting a new life with a new person, you should know how to develop the trust, because trust is the main foundation about relationship. And one more important point which I have mentioned here, the last, is when we are angry, we usually start talking negative about our partner. We talk negative about that relationship. Why is it necessary that we talk negative? The problem can be from both the end. It is not one-sided. People forget that to break a trust, it just takes 1 second. But to develop this trust, it takes years. After years, you develop up. It's a very long process. But one negative talk can shatter the image and trust of everyone. So you have to be really very patient, understanding what are you talking about, of whom are you talking about, and why are you talking about? Because not necessarily everyone will be in a happy mood. Today, I don't know how many people have joined down over there, but not necessarily everyone is in the right mood to listen to what I'm saying. Some will just walk in just to see what am I saying. Some will be the masters over there with their experience. Someone will be a life coach, or someone will be a relation coach, isn't it? But the basic thing is, do we have patience? Are we there listening with patience? Are we committed? All these things makes our trust. So be very careful whenever you are entering into any relationship, whether it's a marriage relationship, a friendly relation, whether you're working in any organization also. That is the foundation. So relationship starts developing on these two words, trust and respect. Rest other things follows. So going ahead to the next slide now, the pain. Everybody knows what are the pains in relationship, isn't it? We always sit and cry that this is not happening in our relationship. This is what the organization is not paying me. The boss is not good, and the teachers in the schools are giving a lot of homework. So pain is always there. It is not that the bed, our life is a bed of roses. You got the thing. There are pain. Other than pain, only we will exercise that happiness. If there is no pain, there is no gain. The proverb goes very well, isn't it? So we go through certain things, but why do they occur? That is more important. Why does the pain occurs? If we say there was a trust, then why is the pain? Because somewhere we start doubting our own. When we start doubting our own, our relationships also starts collapsing. We start doubting, we start creating problems in our relationship also. So the first thing I would like to say is breaking of the promises. When the relationship is there, the pain occurs because of breaking the trust and the promises. The first pain is that. Have you anyone have gone through those things? You can just raise your hand. The first reason for any relationship breaking is because the trust is not there, the promises are not kept, there is no respect. So that is the first reason where I want you to understand that pain starts from them. And then when we keep changing, when we try to keep asking people to change according to the circumstances, what they feel, how they are, then the problem occurs in any relationship. Going further, it can be a financial disrespect also. Yes, in today's age, financial constraints are more. So when you start arguing and fighting, obviously you will have a pain in your relationship. There is going to be a disrespect in your relationship. When the emotional privacy is broken, when you devalue the ideas or opinions about your partner, or you start ignoring your partner, making that partner feel that it's useless, or sometimes, a partner have some illness, or maybe some are little bit obese or something, and we start mocking or teasing them. These are the reasons what creates pain in the relationship. And then the people start parting their ways. They make decisions without you. They don't allow you to socialize. And these days, the new thing has come, the snooping. Yes, getting into the mobiles, checking the mobiles. That has started creating trauma in the society. Going further, excessive flirting has also been a part of our society, because of which there is a lot of pain and disturbance in the relationship. So overall, if you see, there are these points where we devalue our own ideas, and then we start putting the blames on others, creating painful and hatred relationship, causing it disrespect in the relationships. Going further, today I want to discuss about how we can make the relationships happy and positive. So when I say to make relationships happy and positive, you have to create positive emotions. Now, positive emotions doesn't mean engaging only in the activities which makes you happy, but it should also be joyful. Every one of you should have the positive aspects, focusing on the positivity on daily basis. It is about cultivating your positive emotions, because that is more benefited in any relationship. Second one is prioritizing positive experience. Yes, life can be stressful, And at times it is stressful, but how do you focus? How do you create a positive environment or a positive relationship? That is more important. You should have some priorities, you should have some plans to work out together. That will give you a priorities and positive experiences also, and that will also help you to strengthen your relationship. Secondly, I would say you have to practice gratitude. That is more necessary in any relationship. You should thank for that person to be there in your life. You should be able to make that person feel special, whether it is your materialistic things or it is your unmaterialistic things. Show that expressions of gratitude that makes people feel cared, even that gives satisfaction in the relationship. So even if there is a difficult time, I want people to understand that you should be forming a strong attachment, and that makes any relationship romantic. So taking time and saying thank you or expressing appreciation is the best gesture to have a good positive relationship in life. So you should appreciate the small moments. You should be able to embrace the art. Like, you should be able to satisfy, cultivate that interest. That is what is important. If you don't do that, everything is waste. You got it? You have to appreciate the small things, small moments, whether it's like, even if your partner has done a very small help to you, you should be, don't expect any fancy or any extravagant things, but still even a small flower or a small chocolate can bring happiness for you, isn't it? So remember, most of our relationships are made of all small incidences, and small incidences gives joy. People may forget about the bigger things, but they may remember the small things which you haven't done in any relationship. So you should take care of cultivating interest in checking out the small things. That creates a strength, that creates a family, that creates a relationship, and that nurtures your relationship also. Secondly, I would say, plan some good trips. Understand, you should be able to visualize how your partner is, what are the strengths of your partner, how you can promote that partner. For example, if your partner wants to, if she's a female and she wants to get into state service commissions exams or something where the profession is only for man and she's trying to compete on it, don't put her on the lower pedestal, don't discourage her. Find more strength in her, fill her knowledge with more strength and positivity, so that is going to give you a lot of happiness, because you're supporting each other's dreams. You got it? So when you're supporting your partner's dreams, when you're understanding what is the thing she wants or he wants in his life, and you're standing by that, I think so any relationship can be happy. You should always keep checking every weekly. This is my thing to tell to everyone, that if you want to be really happy and keep going in your relationship, I want you to understand that keep a check, a weekly check. In this week, what was the thing I couldn't complete, or I couldn't bring that smile on my partner's face? If you keep these things, the relationship is going to be really great, and it will be really happy. So that's all for my side today. You can have your FAQs.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your wonderful knowledge with us. We have learned so many new things from this event. We are very glad to hear things from you. So now we will move to the question answer section. There are some is if there is some question arises in your mind, please put it in the chat box.
So Shalini, shall I take, or you're going to read the questions?
Yes, ma'am, I'm reading. Just a second.
Okay, yeah.
So the first question is, ma'am, how to have a better relationship between students and teachers in college?
Okay. See, first of all, understand as a student, we should respect our strength. Our strength is to study. Our strength is to understand what our lecturers are teaching us, isn't it? But sometimes we try to bully even the lecturers at times. The problem is we don't trust because we feel that they are being biased to certain kids or they don't want to spend time. This is the belief what has been feeded to us by someone else. Maybe somewhere we catch up. Some out of 10, maybe one teacher will be arrogant, not all. They are the teachers or they are the lecturers because they have gone through certain processes. They are there to help us. First is eliminate that line that, teachers are selfish or they are just making money. Because nowadays, if you see, everyone is saying, no, if you go to that teacher, they will ask us to take the tuition classes or they'll call us for a private coachings and all. Eliminate that. Respect them. They are our gurus because they have also come to that level with all the knowledge. They are not standing there like a fool to teach anyone, isn't it? As a student, you should be knowing what are your prerequisites, why you are a student and why she is a teacher. Secondly, you should be asking help from the teacher. It's not that because she is a teacher, you should command on it. You got the thing. If you feel there is a respect, there should be shown a respect. It is not like a teacher is wearing a salwar kurta or a sari and then you start being, that is what it should be avoided. First is understand why is that person standing on the dais. That person is more experienced than you. That person has gone through certain processes in the life and that person has been authenticated to teach you something. Isn't it? That person is not picked up from the crowd and come down. So to eliminate the differences and the thought processes, we should be able, the teacher should also understand the psychology of the kids because these days everything is available on the Google. Teachers also feel little, backward that how can we communicate to the kids because they read everything in Google. Remove that fear. The fear that teacher is going to punish or the fear rules on our mind. And that creates a distance between the teacher and the student's relationship. Eliminate that fear because nobody is there to pull you down or bully you. Nobody is here to take a revenge from you, isn't it? So understand when the teachers are teaching you, be there as a student. Don't try to go and hit them in a wrong direction. That is where you create a trauma and then you sit on, no, my teacher is not good, my maths teacher is not good, my falana lecturer is bullying me. He says, nobody has that intentions. It just comes with the word to word. How do we speak? It is all about the culture, all about the environment, how you are. Some can be stern, some can be strict, but end of the day, they are also human beings. Just if you try to mellow down, don't bring your ego. Never bring your ego. Even a child has an ego, even the elders has the ego. So remember that I and ego should be eliminated. We are there in any institution to learn. So respect that first. Why are we there? We are there because somebody is there to guide us. But if we start looking at that profession in some other manner, there will be never a respect. We will always be clashing with our thought processes.
Thank
I
you,
hope I
ma'am.
have answered properly for the person.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the second question is, please elaborate on quality time aspects in relationship.
When I say quality time, these days, this has become really a problem because after 2 years, people are fighting in the house. Yes, because of COVID, all of the family members were in the house and wives used to say, my husband is in the house, I have to take care of my work and my kitchen and all those things. When I say quality time means whole day you spend your time with your laptop, computers, with your bosses, with your colleagues and all. But when are you in the house after 9 o'clock? Don't sit with your laptops. Don't sit with your computers. TV program also. You can sit and watch together. Whether it's your small kid, grown-up child, teenager, come to have that me time. When you're eating together, please don't put your head into the mobiles or a newspaper or anything which is not. We can sit together at the dinner table, isn't it? And we can discuss good things, how you did, how your day was, what was the special thing, why did you make this food today, are you not tired? This shows the concern about the partners. So whenever you get a small time also, maybe half an hour, indulge in talking to everyone, indulge in communication, indulge in sharing your emotions. That is the exact time I'm talking about. Because people will say, no, I keep calling my wife 10 times in a day. I give her kisses, I give her hug. While coming from office, I bring a lot of stuff for my house, but my husband doesn't have time because he's into mobile. My wife doesn't have time because she's talking to her friends, all these things. Understand, office work, everyone has. But put a schedule for it, put a timetable for it. When you're together as a family, spend that time. Not necessary you should go for a longer outings, not necessary you should go out stations and all. Even that half a minute, you get, if you give a family hug, that also dissolves all the differences. That also gives you the strength to get up freshly in the morning. It is not necessary that go on your knees and every time say, I love you, oh, you are my darling and all this. That is not necessary. With your eyes, with small hug, with appreciation, sitting together, watching and doing the same common thing. See, in any relationship, two different persons come together because there is something common in them, isn't it? Find that commonness, find that common goals and be together. You will get quality time. Quality time doesn't mean cleaning the house and all those things that you can do anyway. That is also quality time, but being together. Share everything together, even if it's half an hour, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. See how it nourishes your relationship. And this, I'm not telling just like that. It's my experience of 24 years. I'm sharing with you all people, and I have helped many. So that's the reason I'm talking about this.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for clearing his doubt. Ma'am, another question is how to differentiate between respect or love. As you know, when you are in actual love, you actually forgot how to differentiate between respect and love. So,
See, love is a feeling, isn't it? You can love, you may fall in love with the actor, you may fall in love with a small boy, you may fall in love with garden, mountains and everything. But what about the respect? You will crush the flower below your leg and go. Yes or no? You will throw some garbage in a beautiful garden also. You'll go and litter over there. Do we show respect? Respect is something which comes from within you to feel that, put a head down or bow in front of it. It makes you more comfortable. It makes you feel that, yes, it's affecting my mind, body, and soul. That is respect. When it starts making you feel connected, that is respect. Love can happen anytime. It is a connection between our mind and eyes. We always love beautiful things. Are you going to love the black crow? Do we love a black crow? No. Love happens with the word connecting, beauty. Isn't it? People say love is blind. Yes, love is blind. But with that blindness, we have some imaginations. When we have some imagination, some expectation, we fall in love. In respect, it comes naturally when we see something which is touching our emotions. Love is an emotion, respect is also an emotion, but the difference is this. Associations, as I said in the first line, respect can be earned. You can't just respect someone just for something. Do we respect now whatever has happened? Come on, we'll take the latest news. This Aftab, can we respect Aftab for killing Shraddha? We can't. Can we say it was a love for Shraddha? No, we can't. isn't it? So it is an emotion which has got different identities. Okay, I hope it's clear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, dear.
It wasn't very effective advice. We gathered a lot of information today. It was an amazing session. I hope all the participants have learned a lot from you. As we have come to the end, I request all the participants to open your cameras for a snapshot. Just a second, ma'am.
Done. Shalini, it's done.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ria. Thank you, ma'am, and everyone for attending this session. Clarity in heart, clarity in mind, sincerity in action, and containment in formulas is the formula for happiness. Once again, thank you everyone for making this webinar successful.
Thank you, and hope all of you really initiate in making a healthy nation with a healthy relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Have a wonderful day, ma'am. Thank you so much.